Hey guys, how you doing? Today I'm back with another smartphone, and this time we're talking about the Realme GT7 Pro, which comes with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which means that this phone is lightning fast. So today we will take a look at the chipset, but also at things like the display, gaming and the performance, the camera, specs and the design, and I guess let's start with the unboxing. So the first thing that pops up once you open up the box is a little package with some of the paper stuff and a slick matte black silicone case, and I guess that one is one of the prettiest for free cases that you can get with a smartphone. Further down you will find your smartphone. Now I got the orange version, but you can also grab it in the color silver. Now one of the best parts is that you will also get a charging brick, and it's not just a normal one. This one is a 120 watts fast charging brick, and that one will of course also come with the matching USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable. Now let's continue with the specs and the design. Now with the Realme GT7 Pro, you will get a large 6.78 inch screen, which is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 7i. You have an aluminum frame, which has a different color than the backside. To me it looks more like a rosé, and then you also have Panda glass on the backside. Now this orange version is especially good looking, as you got that wavy design on the backside, and I noticed that you won't see your fingerprints on it, at least not that much. The main focus of the backside is the large camera. It covers basically the whole upper third of your smartphone. Now these cameras sit on an extra metal element, which slightly tempers down to your back cover on the right side. Now as for the camera, you got a 50 megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization. There is a 50 megapixel telephoto with OIS, and there is a 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, but we will talk about them later on in the video. Now as well as you need to know that this phone weighs in at around 222 grams, which is definitely not that light, and it is IP68 dust and water resistant. Now as for the display and the audio, now like I mentioned, you have a 6.78 inch LTPO AMOLED display with a display refresh rate of 120Hz, which you can also trim down to just 60Hz if you want to save a little bit of your battery life. Now on this phone you also get an auto select mode, and then you can also have app specific refresh rates, which is something I have not seen so far on any other smartphone. Something else that is great is the screen brightness. In the auto mode it can reach a peak brightness of 6500 nits, which is definitely bright enough for all kinds of sunny conditions, and you will also be able to read the screen without a problem. The Realme GT7 Pro has HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision, and a resolution of 1264 by 2780 pixels, and all of that combined will give you a great video experience, whether if it's just watching some of the anime and YouTube clips or even full movies on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Everything will look great on here. You got deep blacks, very good contrast, and poppy colors. Now this phone also comes with a few extra display features, such as the adaptive tone, which is basically the blue filter of this phone. You have a screen color mode in which you can change the screen color to either vivid, natural, pro, and you can even create a custom style. And also in these settings you can enable the color vision enhancement feature, which adjusts the colors based on your color vision. There's an image sharpener and a video color boost, which both will give you better pictures on your videos. One will enhance the clarity of low quality images and videos, and the other one will boost the colors. By the way, you can also change the screen resolution to 1080 by 2376 pixels, which will again give you a longer battery life. Now, when it comes to the audio, I really like this phone. You've got a set of stereo speakers which really get loud, and the quality is great as well. For your microphone, you have the clear voice feature, which filters some of the background noises. You have a holo audio and haptics, which brings you true to life haptic feedbacks. Now, one of the best parts about this phone is the battery life and definitely the charging speed. On this phone, you will get a super large 6500 mAh battery that will last up to 20 hours on continuous video streaming on YouTube, or you can play games for around 10 hours straight. And if you do run out of battery life, you will still have the 120 watts fast charging in the back end. In just 15 minutes, you will get up to 50%, and a full charge is done in under 40 minutes. And that is quite impressive. Even if you are down to just 1%, it will still be enough to listen to Spotify for another 40 minutes, and it will last a whole 5 hours in the standby mode. Alright, up to some of the features, and you first need to know that this phone runs on Realme UI 6.0 based on Android 15, and you will get 3 years of OS and 4 years of security updates, which is pretty good. Now on this phone, you will get a fingerprint sensor and a face detection, and both work flawlessly. There was not one time that I had any problems with it. Now Now over here in Germany, you can grab this phone with either 12 or 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. In some other countries, you might get up to 512 or 1 terabyte of internal storage. Now on my 256 gig version, about 20 gigs are already used up by the system and other system files, which is a little bit more than on other smartphones. Now, a small feature that not everyone knows about is that you can turn on the GT mode in your quick panel. It will give you a quick cool animation, and like this, you will instantly improve your performance of the phone in every aspect. The Realme GT7 Pro also comes with a ton of AI features. There's the AI screen recognition, which can recognize and extract screen content, and you will get an AI generated summary of the content. You have AR Smart Loop and a smart sidebar with which you can quickly launch apps or access functions from the sidebar. You have a split view and a flexible window. You can do screenshots by swiping down on the display. There's the usual gesture controls, and you have different modes, like a writing mode in which all sounds except incoming calls are muted. There is the kids mode and a simple mode with larger text and bigger icons. This phone even has some AI air gestures. Like this, you don't have to touch the display directly, and you can just do some hand gestures right in front of the display, and like this, you can scroll up and down or open some of your apps. Honestly, I would say it's a little bit easier to just touch the display and not use the air gestures, but it's a cool thing. The last smart feature I want to mention is that you can have different fingerprint animations like this fizz or bubble one, and you can change the color of the edge lighting to blue, red, and yellow. Now, by the way, if you like my content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. You will also find the link to the product down below in the description. Next, we got the performance and the gaming. And the Realme GT7 Pro runs on the newest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite. With this chipset and your 12 gigs of RAM, everything you do on this phone runs smooth. You can work on multiple tabs, application will open up in an instant, and gaming with this phone is smooth too. I play Genshin Impact on the highest graphics settings, and I had a consistent frame rate of about 30 frames. I had no lags, the colors and the animations look beautiful, and then you also have the game booster. With this one you can check your frame rates and adjust the brightness, you can take screenshots, screen record, you can block notifications and incoming calls, you have touch optimizations to adjust the touch sensitivity, and there is the mistouch prevention feature too. You have a voice changer and game filters to change the visuals. Let's finally talk about the camera. And as I already mentioned, we got a strong 50 megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization. There is a 50 megapixel telephoto with OIS and an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And you can shoot videos with 8K and 24 FPS. But you can also trim it down to just 4K and 60 FPS, which looks a little bit better. Now on the front side, you've got a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which shoots videos in 1080p and 60 FPS. You also have quite a few photo modes like the street mode, portrait mode with a 2 and 3x zoom, night and pro mode. You can take long exposure and underwater shots, and there are even more. Now in daily light, the main camera captures good photos with great detail and vibrant colors, and also the dynamic range is excellent. When it comes to your selfies, these photos definitely look good with a natural skin tone. As for your telephoto camera, just like with the normal one, you have a good dynamic range and great detail, and once again, the colors look great too. Just something that is missing is the macro camera. The ultra wide angle camera takes some great daily pictures, noise is well controlled, and the dynamic range and the color aren't bad either. Lastly, we got the portrait shots, and I like the depth of field, which you can manually adjust, but there is no zoom options, so you have a fixed focus.